Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Contemporary Political Theory. My name is Gabriela Alonso, and today we're going to be talking about philosophers Michel Foucault and Judith Butler. Let's start with Michel Foucault, who was one of the most influential thinkers of the 20th century. Today, we're going to be discussing one of his most important texts, Discipline and Punishment. But before we get into that, let's look into what he thought about knowledge and power. According to Foucault, the phrase, knowledge is power, is highly misleading, since the biggest question is, how does knowledge empower the individual? Necessity of power is the product of knowledge. Power is the ability to produce knowledge. For example, universities, schools, and educational centers assume the authority to disperse knowledge. Our bodies get shaped, others mark us differently, and this is not a sign of empowerment, but a sign of subjection. Now, let's talk a little bit about how the idea of punishment has been developed throughout history. Historically, punishment was an act that was performed publicly. The main purpose of these public spectacles was to inflict the violence of the crime onto the criminal's body for everyone to see. According to Foucault, these public spectacles led to riots in favor of the convict. The switch from public spectacle to prison was not instant, though it ran its course rapidly. The emergence of prison brought out the development of discipline in the 18th and 19th century. The two events that also promoted a new form of punishment were the Great Confinement and the Plague. According to Foucault, lepers gave rise to exclusion, and the plague gave rise to disciplinary projects. The Great Confinement developed during medieval times. Leprosy is a contagious disease that affected societies around the world. It can be transmitted from human to human. In the late 1700s, lepers started to disappear and became less of a problem. Leper colonies still remained but were no longer needed, so those locations became hospitals to hold lunatics. Before this, lunatics were part of society, which led to a physical and social exclusion. After the disappearance of lepers, madness came to occupy this position. Unreasonable members of society were institutionalized. The plague also took place during medieval times, and its aim was to set discipline. The plague was a widespread illness caused by the breakout of infectious diseases. The plague usually led to the separation of those who carried the disease. Due to the lack of sanitation and hygiene, those who were infected were separated from the rest in order to prevent the plague from spreading. Those who had or were suspected to be infected with the plague were separated and excluded in their homes with no chance of communication. The idea of excluding those who are harm to society came from the times of the plague. The two dimensions that discipline enforces are space and rank. According to Foucault, discipline starts with the distribution of individuals in space, since discipline usually requires individuals to be placed in protected spaces like schools or factories. The key unit of discipline is the rank or place in which an individual is placed. Rank identifies the distribution of individuals. The organization of individuals in space works according to certain rules. The whole process works within a larger space, such as prison, which is divided into parts or cells. In order for us to understand how in our daily life we're still being disciplined, let's just watch these videos that support the philosophy of Michel Foucault of discipline and punishment. Now that we've talked about philosopher Michel Foucault and his theory of discipline and punishment, let's move on to philosopher Judith Butler and learn a little bit more about her contribution to the field of feminism. According to Judith Butler, gender and biological gender are culturally and socially constructed. The source of gender and biological gender is the power of patriarchy. Gender is an idea that has been set up by our social beliefs of what it is to be a male or a female. The idea that one is not born a woman but becomes a woman according to the definition that society gives the word. Gender is not just an idea, it's also a process, a set of repeated acts. Gender is determined by the roles that we play in society. Eventually, it becomes a repetition of the acts that are considered to be norms on a social standard. Butler also argues that words are just symbols. Society associates the word woman with its actual meaning. Butler also uses the term performability to formalize the act that contradict gender norms in society. Performability also modifies the idea of patriarchy. According to Butler, performability is a mockery or parody of the gender norms and categories. An individual's action and what they wear also form part of the gender norms. Experimenting or playing with these norms can change all the gender roles. The most obvious example of a gender performability is a transvestite who dresses in drag. Let's recall for a moment the film that we watched last episode, Escaping New York. The characters, Brain and his girlfriend, are so encrusted in their gender roles that even though Brain is the weaker one, society constructed him as a stronger one just because he's a male. Yet, Brain's girlfriend is thrown into an inferior place just because she's a female. This creates an inverted action. Now, let's just watch some real-life examples that help support the theory of Judith Butler on gender norms.
Hi, Coach.
How you doing?
Good, good. Listen, I came to talk to you because I want to try out for the football team. What do you think?
You want to try out for the football team?
Yeah, I think
you?
Yeah.
I've never seen a female playing football.
But, Coach, I'm really good. Like, I'll take your team to the finals. Like, I'm
it's
great.
It's a rough sport, girl.
Yeah, I know, but I can do it. Like, don't you think I can do it?
I don't think you can play with the guys. These guys will take 300 pounds and over.
That's fine. I can take it, Coach. Can I play in the football team?
No, I don't want to be responsible for your death out there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hey, I got next.
Next on what?
In the basketball, I'm playing with the Heat.
No, you go to your room and watch the Kim Kardashian show. Let the guys play basketball.
Yeah, but I want to play.
You want to play with us?
Yes, I want to play with you guys. Thanks again for watching, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gabriel Alonso, and please tune in next week for more contemporary political theory. According to Foucault, I'm not saying it right.
Foucault.
Okay. According to Foucault, no, baby, that's not right either.
Foucault.
The phrase.
Come on.
Okay. Pursuit. You're covering the paper. No. The other way. Baby, stop it. No. Authority to produce to disperse knowledge. Alright, I'm ready. Do you punish one?
Yes.
Now, let's talk a little bit about it. I can't. Stop it! Stop laughing!
I'm not laughing.
That's disgusting.
I'm gonna get that on the blooper video.
That's disgusting.
You just wiped it on my mom's couch.
I did that wrong. What comes next?
The tag.
Gave rise to exclusion. She's coughing in the bathroom.
Physical.
Led to the exclusion of those who feel to the field. Stop. Okay. Thanks again for watching, ladies and gentlemen.